Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video will be entitled Leverage. Leverage, okay? Now, in business, there's a principle that us businessmen follow, and it's called leverage. Now, leverage simply means that when you deal with someone in business, leverage can be applied to all aspects of life, but let me just use the business context to clarify what I'm talking about. Okay, so when you engage in business with someone, right, you don't have the time in business to build a long relationship of trust and loyalty with someone that you intend to engage in business with, right? You just simply don't, right? You do hundreds of business deals, right? So they say usually that you should only work with people you trust. Well, you simply can't just trust anyone you just met, and you can't wait on trust before you can conduct your affairs of business. So what do you do? How do you conduct business, and if you can't do that? So yeah, right. I'm getting a message. Let me just close it. Right. So how do you do it? How do you go about it? Okay. Well, you make sure that you have something that that person needs at all times, and that that person is reliant on that thing in order for that person's order of business to progress, in order for that person to be able to continue in the business venture or benefit in what that person is doing, right? So what you do is you make sure you have the deck stacked in your favor. That's how you do business, okay? You don't necessarily trust your business partners. You shouldn't, You just make sure that you have something they want. And in turn, they will give you what you want. That's called leverage, okay? Now, unfortunately, for most relationships, that's exactly how it works. Okay, I'm sorry to put it like that bluntly, okay? What I've noticed, what I've observed, and this has been the observation of a lot of people out there, okay? You get a guy who can be described as someone that's nonchalant, that doesn't care, that does whatever he wants to, and that goes with whoever he wants to, okay? So, the player, right? And when he engages with a woman, okay, you will always find these women running after him, being loyal to him, trying to please him, trying to do whatever he wants to please him, and hoping that he will be loyal, okay? So every woman is attracted to the guy of many women, the player, and every woman thinks that she's going to be the one to tame him. So partly it's the fact that so many women are going with him or interested in him, that interests other women, because women tend to want to go with the crowd. And then the mistaken notion that what she has is so sweet, that her honey is so sweet that she's going to cure him and tame him, right? And how he does it is through leverage. Simple. He does it through leverage, okay? By being the player that he is, and by the woman knowing that he is a player, right? The fake promise that he would remain loyal, possibly remain loyal, if she ends up being good enough for him, right, makes her keep trying harder. So she keeps trying and trying harder. She's so focused on trying to please this guy that she doesn't see any other guy, okay? She remains loyal and faithful to him, though he never remains loyal and faithful to her. Just the promise and possibility of fidelity keeps her right there, okay? So that's in a sense the power of infidelity, why some people are addicted to infidelity, okay? It's very powerful, right? So, and it's done through leverage, you know? It's the empty promise, the hope, the goal. You gotta keep them desiring, right? More and more. You never give them everything, kind of thing. So that's how the player does it, right? Through leverage. Okay, so you will always find this kind of guy with lots of women that are very loyal to him and constantly running after him and constantly trying to please him until they obviously get fed up and leave, but he doesn't care anyway because there'll just be more where they came from. Okay, then you find the reverse, and I seen this true. You get the guy, you know, you look at him and he's a lovely, loving, homely type of guy, you know, he's indulgent with his wife or his woman, and she treats him like absolute shit. He does everything for her and she treats him like absolute shit. And she'll even cheat on him. Okay? And then you might ask yourself, but what's wrong with this woman? You know, can't she see what a good guy this is? And other women will even look at this guy and wonder what's wrong with this woman. They'd be like, if only I could have a guy that is sensitive and caring and indulgent like this guy. No, not true. You wouldn't want him either. Okay? If you had him, you'd also screw him over. Okay? The point is that most women do not appreciate that type of man instinctively. And most women instinctively want the guy who is the player. Okay? Because the guy who is the player exhibits masculine aloofness. Okay? He does not appear to be in need of any of these women. And what women want instinctively, you know, with the reptilian brain at the back of their genetic programming, is they want power, to align themselves with power and strength. And this guy comes across as being powerful. That's it. Okay? Power is not needing, but being needed, basically. You know, not wanting fully, but being wanted. Not desiring completely, but being desired. And that's what the player offers women and why they go nuts for him. Okay? Because he's a real man, so to say. But also he's a bastard. Okay? So this is kind of the catch that women find themselves in, okay? The attraction is for this bastard, this guy, right? On the one hand. On the other hand, right, they know that the loving, caring, indulgent man is a better long-term prospect, right? But he's boring. And she's not attracted to him. And she'll likely cheat on him, okay? Because of all those things. And so where do you find the balance? Okay, that's an interesting question. I don't think anyone before me, of all the many videos I've watched and articles I've read on the subject, have really answered the question. Where do you find the balance? And I'm going to tell you. Not that I know this in practice, but in theory, okay? Because I personally have not found the balance myself, you know. I veer between these two, you know, depending on which phase I am at in my life or in my relationships. But the balance is found in polygyny, believe it or not, okay? Because when you are polygynous, when you have several wives, you are player enough to keep her wanting, okay? To keep her on her toes, to have that leverage in place where she feels that she needs to work for it so she doesn't become complacent, on the one hand. On the other hand, you are stable enough, right, to actually stay with the woman that you are married to, plural, okay? So you kind of find the balance of both. You are alpha male enough, attractive enough to be sexy, to be wanted, right? But You are responsible enough to be long-term material, long-term commitment material. You're not a player, in other words. Okay? So that's kind of where you find the balance. Okay? So when you ask yourself next time, why do women always run after the bad boys? Why are they always going with the players? Why are they going with guys who clearly have nothing to offer them but maybe sex and feeling good, right? Why do they go with that? Well, it's because instinctively, women, I'm sorry to put this bluntly, through centuries of genetic programming, basically want to be used. Okay? She feels fulfilled if he uses her to fulfill himself. Because really, a woman wants to be on the agenda of a man. That it is what it is. It sounds really bad. I mean, how dare you say it, you misogynist. I know that's what I'm going to get. But that's what it looks like to me. Until I find evidence for it to be any different, that will be my view. Feel free to comment.